So, in this time of change and transition and of systems, the disruption of systems, it's necessary that we lean into the discomfort that we feel, lean on one another, and allow our roots to grow deeper in the realm of the spirit and in the communities of support that we've built. God is saying we have to go deeper. We have to go deeper in our relationship with Him. We have to go deeper in our communities of support. 2020 is a year that we will need to lean into those things that make us uncomfortable as we are growing. Growing pains are never comfortable, hence growing pains. Change, transition, and the stretching is never comfortable, but it's necessary as God has positioned us for something new and for a movement in 2020. In terms of community, the thing that we have to remember is that true community is an invitation for unity to come, right? So community, come unity. But in order for that to happen, that doesn't mean that we are to dismiss anyone's lived experiences or try to control or even tell people what they can and can't feel or what they should and shouldn't feel. Unity means that we are sitting together as we're seeking God, but we're also respectful of people's lived experiences and we're respectful of people's truths. And so in 2020, in this season, we have to get back to a place of unity. We have to get back to a place of where we are sitting together, even when it's uncomfortable, that we're leaning into that discomfort of our truths and we're seeking God together as we continue to learn how to love one another. So again, 2020, change, transition, growth, deeper roots, all right, and the manifestation of some of the things that we've been praying for, authentically praying for in the spirit. It also is going to bring a disruption of systems, which is going to give way to some challenges. In order for us to move through and to endure those challenges, we're going to have to lean into God. We're going to have to lean into those things that make us uncomfortable as we grow. And we're going to have to lean on one another to get through those challenges. The other thing that the Lord spoke concerning 2020 is that there needs to be an intentional and focused increase in our giving. Now, before people shut down, let me explain. I'm not talking about the giving of your finances specifically. This is not the part where I say, send me money. That's not what this is. All right. God is saying that this is a time where there may be an increase in your financial giving, but even more so an increase in your time and in the operation of your gifts. Now, this is going to require prayer for wisdom, guidance, and discernment to know where to increase your giving. It may or may not be in a church. In fact, what the Lord has been really dealing with me about is an increase in marketplace ministry, an increase in individualized giving of our money, our time, our gifts, our talents. An example of that may be you might be in the grocery store and the Lord lays on your heart to pay for someone's groceries. It may look like, you finally saying yes to mentoring. So maybe the Lord will lay on your heart to go and join a mentoring organization, and you are intentionally giving of your time. It may mean or may look like you providing some services that you are good at, but you're providing them, and the Lord may lead you to provide them at no cost to someone. So in 2020, there is an increase in intentional giving on our part. The last thing that I want to say or share about 2020 is that, God is saying as we are getting ready to cross over, we need to take stock, we need to reflect, and we need to inspect our fruit. So as we're looking back over 2019, really reflect on what have you produced, what has come out of the year for you, what have you birthed out of yourself. Take stock, reflect, and inspect your fruit. And here's why I emphasize fruit. God said anything that we have produced that doesn't contain seed, we are to stop. I know we are in the era of technology and science where we can genetically alter some fruit. I went in the grocery store and realized that we now sell seedless grape watermelon, right? And so, but that's not how it's naturally produced. So we need to take a look at what are we producing, and does it contain seed? If we're doing things or producing things in our lives that don't have life in them, sustaining life and sustainable life, we need to stop producing those things. We are off track somewhere. In this season, God said in 2020, his favor is on your seed, not on the fruit itself. His favor is on the ability of what you produce to continue to produce. Okay. The power of fruit is that it will always, well, unless it's genetically altered, it will contain seed. And the purpose of that seed is to continue the process of life. So when that particular fruit begins to rot, the seed is there, it's in the ground, it's going to produce again. We need to take a look at what we've been producing. If it is sustainable, if it is sustaining, if it has life, fine. But anything that we are doing, anything that we are producing that does not contain life, God is saying, stop. You're putting your energy in the wrong places. Okay. 2020 is a year, again, of change and transition, but it's also a year of renewing those things that truly give life. So if there are things in your life that's currently draining you, that is not giving you life, and it's not giving life to those around you, God is saying, release those things, let them go. Don't take those things into 2020. There is one more thing that I need to share, and that is for some of us, this year is going to bring about an increase in our influence, especially within the political sphere. So in 2020, some of us will move into greater influence, greater ability to impact what's happening around us. Um, for those who particularly have been feeling a pull toward getting more politically involved, this one's for you, right? Your ability to influence people is going to increase in 2020. Therefore, and as a result of that, God is saying, be prayerful and be discerning in how you use the influence that you are being given. Do not use your power for evil, right? But use that influence that God is increasing in your life to be light where you are being called to. Understand that in those spheres, especially the political sphere, in this particular season, you are called to be light and not an aggressive bullhorn. I'm going to say that again. In this season, as you move and navigate the influence that God is giving you, he is calling you to be a light, not to be an aggressive bullhorn. There is a time for all things, right? And timing is everything. But the Lord is saying, in this season, just be light. You don't have to yell. You don't have to fuss. You don't have to be obnoxious. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to exert yourself to try to make things move. All you have to do is be present, be the light that God is within you, and watch the influence take effect. There will come a time when you're going to have to raise your voice and be a bullhorn, but that is not this particular season. All right. The Lord is saying, navigate in the spirit. And he also said, he reminded me of the scripture, be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. Okay. Be light. Do not be an aggressive bullhorn, not right now, but instead be wise as serpents and be as gentle as doves. All right. So again, 2020, change, transition, deeper roots, and growth. All right. The manifestation of those things that we've been praying for authentically in the spirit, we're going to begin to see a manifestation of those things in the earth. Okay. And a disruption of systems. The disruption of systems is what's going to bring about some of the challenges that we face in 2020. But that is all the more reason that we've got to dig our roots in deeper in our relationship with God and in our relationship with those who are a part of our supportive community. Okay. Now, that is what God has spoken concerning 2019 and 2020 as we transition. I want to invite you, as I am getting ready to share my screen, if you have questions about the word, I'm going to invite you to email me. You can email any questions or comments you have about the word to the Sabrina Nichole at gmail.com. If you have questions, if you need clarity, also if you have a comment, maybe some of this has resonated with you and you just want to confirm or affirm this prophetic word, I encourage you to drop me a note at the Sabrina Nichole at gmail.com. I also want to invite you to stay connected with my ministry, the Sabrina Nichole Ministry, the activities and events, and even some of the Bible studies and things that I'll be doing. There is a form that I'm going to invite you to fill out so that we can remain connected. I'm also going to put it in the chat box so that it's a little bit easier for you to snag it and put it in your device. But I encourage you to do that as well. I look forward to what 2020 has in store for all of us. I look forward to what God is doing for his people. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can get back to my chat. I've got to figure out how to do that. There it is. All right. I've put that information in the chat for you so you can snag that at your convenience. And then lastly, just as a reminder, this has been recorded so that folks who couldn't log in real time will be able to access it later. And you can even go back and look at it yourself. So I will be putting this up on the Sabrina Nichole social media platforms. It'll be available on Facebook. It'll be available on, or I'll send the link to through Instagram and some other places. And then also, if you need a copy of it, you can email me and I will be more than happy to send that to you. Thank you all so much. Be blessed.